unenforceable.com.
Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
Broadcasting from the studios of AM 950 KTNF, the progressive voice of Minnesota, and airing on WCPT 20, Chicago's progressive talk. Welcome to The Gailey Show, the only daily LGBTQ progressive radio news and talk show in the United States. And no matter where you live, from DC to Mobile to Bismarck to San Diego, we've got you here at The Gailey Show. I'm John Parker, your host. My executive producer, Jim Pounds, is in studio with me today. We're also streaming on our YouTube channel, so if you like what we're doing here, subscribe. And I'd like to hear from you about stories you would like to see us covering in 2026. You can leave a comment here on this video, or you can go into the community tab, the post tab on our channel, and leave us a comment there. And that's not just for folks who are watching on YouTube. Anyone can go and do that. What is on the show today? So after our first commercial break, we'll be doing a roundup of headlines from across America. At the bottom of the hour, Zoe Enro, artistic director and founder of Ballet Collaboratory, joins us to discuss the ballet's production of The Snow Queen, which features music from a 19th century queer composer who is largely unknown. So we really appreciate that the Ballet Collaboratory is going to be featuring this ballet with its music. The Democratic Legislative Campaign Committee thinks 2026, the elections in 2026, could, quote, fundamentally shift the state legislative balance of power, end quote, in the United States. We're going to take a look at what do they mean by that? How are they assessing that? But up first, this weekend was awful. And I'm going to get to a story that I want to talk about in Texas, largely because it's not the biggest headline of the day, but I feel like for folks who are wanting to take action, this is a story that could absolutely is easy ability to take action on, to have some protests on, and to be successful and to win at. And I want to talk about that because just as folks, as of 2 p.m. on Monday afternoon, the manhunt continues for the gunman who killed 2 students at Brown University and injured 9 others. 6 teens were injured in a shooting in Brooklyn over the weekend. 15 people were killed at a Hanukkah celebration in Bondi at Bondi Beach in Australia. Dozens more injured. Over 1,000 people were at that celebration at Bondi Beach. Rob Reiner and his wife were murdered in their home, allegedly by their son, as AP News is reporting this afternoon. And the President of the United States is on social media claiming that Reiner and his wife died because of Trump derangement syndrome. And the far right is celebrating Reiner's death, apparently as revenge or something for Charlie Kirk. And then in Chile, the far right candidate, Jose Antonio Cast, won their election for president over the weekend. A far-right candidate who is on the record praising Chile's dictator, Augusto Pinochet, which, if you want to know some really scary bleep that a dictator did in South America, there were a number of them that were just awful, scary human rights violations. But Pinochet, Google that. That's going to be, or DuckDuckGo that. That's going to be some scary reading that we have not we, but Chile now has a president that thinks good thoughts about Augusto Pinochet, dictator. Jim, you had thoughts?
Well, I was just going to say regarding the Rob Reiner situation, my first thought is for any parent, and this should have been anyone's thought that mocked him. My first thought is a parent who has a child with a drug problem, because that's something that has affected both right and left-wing people and independent people. It's a tragedy for a family. It's a never-ending tragedy in many ways for some people. And and to not be sympathetic about that, to not be able to see the humanity of that alone, no matter what your political views are, is sort of inhuman. Anyone that would make a mockery of that. And I saw people doing it online, and 28% of the American public are morons. But to see the president acting like the worst of us, which he's done really since he's been in public life, the worst of America, to then mock somebody whose drug problematic child, now an adult, murdered both of them, is inhuman, and it's unforgivable.
Well, and Rob Reiner was on at least one interview that I saw on television who was denouncing Charlie Kirk's murder and denouncing the people who were celebrating it. And so to have this idea that they are, we're going to do it too now, is so reprehensible. And I put this on Blue Sky today. I mean, it is the official editorial position now of the Gailey Show that the phrase "I didn't vote for this" is reprehensible and indefensible at this point. 75 million voters told you what Trump was, who he is, what he's going to do, the despicableness of his character. And so to see this now where he's blaming a person for being murdered allegedly by his son for Trump derangement syndrome is so despicable. And anyone out there that's saying, well, I didn't vote for this, I voted for egg prices. Wrong, reprehensible, indefensible. You knew it. 75 million of us told you this is exactly what was going to happen. You ignored us. You mocked us. You denigrated us. And here we are.
I think 75 million knowing the truth was not true. I think a lot of them did not want to know the truth. But I think
75 million people voted for Harrison Walz.
I know. I'm saying a lot of people that voted for him kept themselves deliberately ignorant, which is not an excuse, I know, and it's not the way you're supposed to behave as an American citizen. But, my frustration is that you would, regardless of that, regardless of the election, what you should probably do is apologize.
That's even worse
for the vote that you made.
I didn't vote for this because I didn't know who he was.
I think people have to say, gosh, a parent was murdered by their child. If you can't see the tragedy in that, you have a screw loose. Not you. I know our listeners are fine. Somebody who doesn't see the tragedy of that has a screw loose, and tell them that. Start talking to these people that didn't vote for it and don't know what's going on. Talk to them one-to-one. Tell them the truth.
And even here on this show, the evil lefty, trans-loving, horrible, gonna ruin America Gailey show. We were on the air literally minutes after Charlie Kirk's murder, denouncing it. And we were taking also the position of it is not immoral to remember a man by his words.
Yes.
And so us sharing the positions that Charlie Kirk had was not denigrating him, was not telling him he deserved it. We were just remembering him for who he was. Right. And so for them to now turn around and say, oh, well, you all, you were denigrating Charlie Kirk's murder and celebrating it, so we're going to do it now. Like, no, there were a number of us that were like, two things can be true here. Yeah. We can accurately remember a person and not blame them for being assassinated, for being murdered. And
they're reacting to Rob Reiner being, a left-wing person. I admired him for that. I think it was one of his best qualities as a human being. But I understand other people might not think so. But backing up from that, the tragedy of the death of two parents by their child, just stop there and think about that. That's enough to think about. And I don't know that we all have to react to it, frankly, but to celebrate it means there's something wrong with you if you celebrate a child killing his parents.
And we are dealing with more mass violence, mass gun violence in the United States. And it's just
How's that Second Amendment?
And
treating
I
you
know
all?
there's a lot of folks that are like, well, look, Australia has tough gun laws, and look what happened down there. And they're talking about even stricter gun
Yep.
control laws now. And
Yep.
also, this doesn't happen in Australia. That's part of the shock of it all, is that their gun control laws were helping to prevent stuff like this. But it is absolutely, it's atrocious. It's disgusting. And I feel like, you know, when we look at the election was happening in Chile, we look at this gun violence in Australia, we look at what Alberta, Canada just did, basically taking all of Alabama's anti-trans laws and implementing them using 11th hour, middle of the night tactics like the MAGA does here. It just seeing what's happening in the UK right now with their Supreme Court, which is even more off the rails than our Supreme Court. It just feels like,
Well,
what is happening on this planet
we don't
right
want
now?
people
But
to give up hope, though. I mean,
that's
would be a
why we've
mistake.
talked too long about all of that. I want to talk about and we've got only like a minute left here. The Texas Women's Privacy Act in Texas is a bill that says that access to restrooms and other facilities and any government building, so city managed airports, state agency buildings, city buildings, county buildings, public schools, universities, colleges, right, etc., that you have to go into those bathrooms based off of the sex assigned at birth, right? So trans women can't use women's bathrooms, trans men can't use men's bathrooms. All right. Interestingly, the law as it's written right now will not arrest a trans person for using a bathroom that aligns with their gender identity. They will not be fined by the state. Rather, the institution itself, so like a university, would be fined $25,000 if a trans person uses a bathroom matching their gender identity. And then they are fined an additional $125,000 per day for additional violations. Now, earlier this month, the organization 6W Project went directly to the Texas Capitol and showed, like, hey, we can use the bathrooms. You literally have no enforcement mechanisms in place, which is why they were trying to say, what did you all spent 10 years on this, literally 10 years, and you can't enforce the law. That, I want to talk more about that because I want to talk more about that because I think there's an opportunity here to end these bills once and for all in Texas. We're going to talk about that when we come back from the break. You're listening to The Gailey Show on WCPT 820, Chicago's Progressive Talk, and AM 950 KTNF, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
Here's Aiden, Elizabeth, and Corey from Wellshire Memory Care with a holiday message.
This holiday season, the Wellshire family wants to take a moment to reflect on the incredible journey that we have shared with so many of you. To our current and past families who have entrusted us with the care of a loved one living with Alzheimer's or any other forms of dementia, thank you for allowing us to be a part of your lives. We know that this time of year can be bittersweet. It is a season filled with memories, love, and togetherness, but it can also remind us of the challenges that you have faced and the courage it takes to walk this path.
At the Wellshire, we are deeply honored to have been there to support you through those moments, to create a safe, compassionate space where your loved ones live with pride and dignity, and where your family could find comfort and hope. This holiday season, we're sending our warmest wishes to you and your families. May you find peace and cherished memories, joy in the present, and hope for the future.
From all of us at the Wellshire, happy holidays. You are forever a part of our family.
If your family member or loved one needs a memory care home, visit wellshiremn.com. That's wellshiremn.com.
Would you let animals pick your insurance? Do you really need to experience mayhem to get the best rates? Or how about a celebrity quarterback or fake university saving you money? There's a lot of marketing stunts when it comes to insurance, but what you really need is someone looking out for you. Call Array Insurance, and they will work hard to find you the best insurance coverage and rates. So avoid gimmicks and call Cheryl at Array, 763-504-3067 or arrayinsurance.com. Array Insurance, working hard for you.
Greg Bakken here. Like you, I love good, fresh, delicious food. So I want to tell you about this treasure in Roseville called Maverick's Real Roast Beef. Maverick's has the best roast beef sandwiches I've ever had. Made fresh every order. Add fries or onion rings dropped in the fryer when ordered, and you have a winning combination. Mavericks Real Roast Beef has a lot more than roast beef, so check out their website, mavericksbeef.com, or check out their restaurant on Lexington in Roseville.
Hi, this is Ryan, owner of Snap Construction. It's been great working with so many of the passionate AM 950 listeners over the years. We have realized how important AM 950 is to the community. I want to see AM 950 continue to grow and continue to thrive into the future. To help continue to grow, Snap Construction will be putting up proceeds to assist the station in marketing on social media. Snap Construction encourages you to do your part by liking and sharing the content on AM 950 social media platforms.
This is Chad, owner of AM 950. Ryan has always told me the best time to get work done is during the colder months of the year because demand is much lower. He is backing that up again by offering 30% off labor on windows and siding from now until the end of December. Call Snap Construction now to get 30% off labor on windows and siding. As always, Snap Construction stands by their work with a lifetime craftsmanship warranty. Trust the company AM 950 trusts Snap Construction, arguably the most well-reviewed roofing, siding, and window contractor in the metro area. Get a free estimate by calling 612-333-SNAP or find them online at snapconstruction.com. Financing options available.
Welcome back to the Gailey Show. I am John Parker. We are coming up on the bottom of the hour. I'm in studio here with my executive producer, Jim Pound. So before the break, we started talking about the Texas Women's Privacy Act, Senate Bill 8, which is known as the bathroom bill colloquially in the Lone Star State. It took 10 years for them to pass this. So, you know, when you hear MAGA talking about how, oh, the Democrats are obsessed, they're obsessed with the LGBTQ community. And then you look at the 1,012 bills that they've introduced dealing with LGBTQ community just this year. Those are just the trans bills, by the way, 1,012. And then when you look at this bill that took 10 years for them to get passed, you start to wonder, who's obsessed with whom here? But in the bill, an individual is not punished or fined by the state at any level, county level, city level, state level. It's the institution. So the college, the university, the state agency, the city managed airport, they would be fined $25,000 per person if a trans person uses a bathroom that matches their gender identity, $125,000 per day for additional violations. And 6W Project in Texas earlier this month at the Texas Capitol said, hey, you know, you can't enforce this. Look, we're just using the bathrooms, Here's how we end these bills once and for all. Throughout the state, start at your colleges, your universities, the airports, the city buildings, go in and use the bathroom because you're not going to get arrested. You're not going to get fined. That college is. Does that college have $125,000 a day for trans people to use the bathroom? No, they do not. And when you start having schools and universities and airports and state agencies suddenly having to pay millions of dollars, which is what the number will be very quickly, just doing this over a 2-week period on a daily basis, I think that they're going to go to the legislator and say, we got to stop this. Please repeal this bill. Now, what will happen next? They'll go in, they won't get rid of the bill, then they'll switch the fines and they'll say, oh, well, if you do this, you know, trans people will now be arrested. They'll be fined for breaking the law, right? They'll move that there. That's what they'll do. Great. Fantastic. We can still fight that because what you do is you walk up to the bathroom door and you say, hey, look, there's nobody here. I could use this bathroom if I wanted to right now, which will force universities, schools, airports, county buildings, state buildings to have to park a security officer in front of every bathroom for the entire duration of when they are open, their building hours. Does a university, a college, an airport have that kind of cash and resources? No. I've worked at I've worked at colleges. They do not have those resources right now. So then they will still go back to the legislature and say, please repeal this bill. There is no way for us to enforce this. It's like the Freedom Riders. It's like the folks who went into those restaurants and sat down at the counters and said, we want to be served. It's like the folks who sat at the front of the bus. It is absolutely within our power to go in there and to do this. And I hope that folks in Texas, we have a partnership with Dallas Voice. If you're listening to this, please, someone organize this. This is the way they have structured this law is very easy to completely dismantle it and provide maximum pain because of how stupid they wrote this law. There, some agency. Jim, thoughts before we get into some headlines?
No, I think it'll be interesting to see what happens. I like a good offense. I think we've been on defense too long.
Yeah, and these bathroom bills are out of control. They're doing that instead of working on affordability right now. They're doing that instead of working on economics right now. So yeah, there's that. All right, some headlines from across the United States. From the Lookout in Arizona, the headline is Phoenix City Council considers ban on life-saving care in parks. The subhead, an initial draft of the proposal to Lookout, revealed sweeping changes to how community orgs can provide harm reduction supplies and testing at city parks. This includes HIV testing. It's written by editor Joseph Darius Jafari. And interestingly, Lookout doing some fantastic reporting in Arizona. The updated version of the proposal was actually leaked to Lookout, and they were able to have the first look at it and break it down and be able to do exclusive reporting on it. And the ordinance would essentially bar any person or organization from, I'm quoting here directly from their reporting, inviting, promoting, advertising, sponsoring, or organizing any event intended to provide medical treatment or care to the public. They continue to say it would also prohibit the exchange of syringes and needles, the operation of needle exchanging programs, and the distribution of harm reduction supplies such as alcohol wipes and drug testing kits. Public health officials are saying that this is going to have huge implications for how they actually provide public health to the public and also to HIV mitigation strategies. So this story, the council will consider this on the 17th of December at 2:30 p.m. and we will stay tuned to the Lookout for updates on that story. And happier news, the headline from Qnotes in the Carolinas, Freedom Center for Social Justice named Qnotes 2025 Organization of the Year. Subhead is 16 years after its founding, Charlotte-based nonprofit leads the movement for LGBTQ plus empowerment, immigrant justice, and cultural change. The reporter is Liz Schaub. So this is an annual thing that Qnotes, an LGBTQ publication, does in North Carolina. And they say in their article, I'm going to quote directly from it here, since 2009, the Freedom Center has helped shape what liberation work looks like in the South, guided by a clear belief that relationships, dignity, and collective care change communities. Belief in collective care change communities. Sorry, I read that sentence wrong. In a year when targeted policy attacks and hostile rhetoric have left many feeling worn down, the organization has remained steady, offering education, leadership development, and spaces where people can gather, heal, and organize. The center also runs a campaign called For Them Too, which is specifically around the needs and advocacy for trans youth. And so the Freedom Center named Organization of the Year by Qnotes, which is the LGBTQ statewide publication in North Carolina. Jim, your reactions to either of those stories?
I think you're right. Keeping the things moving forward is what we just can't be stopped. I know a lot of people were stopped by the bad news this weekend, and you just can't let that happen. You just have to keep putting one foot in front of the other. And there is good work being done, and it's nice to put a little bit of a spotlight on that.
A lot of good work. We continue here during our second segments of the show Monday through Wednesday to highlight excellent reporting from LGBTQ news organizations and outlets throughout America. So be sure to tune in there. And if you can't tune in live, we collect all of them on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@thegailyshow. We'll be back more after this break.
Hi, this is Desi Doyen of the Green News Report and the Bradcast.
Zoe, can you hear us? Can you hear me now?
There she is.
Hello.
Hey. Can you hear us?
Yep.
Oh, okay. How are you? This is a live mic, so folks on YouTube can still hear what we're saying right now. But so can you say a little bit so we can hear how your day is going, so we can get a mic check for you?
Sure, absolutely. We loaded into the theater this morning, so it's been a day. I feel like I've already had a full day.
Well, we've got a healthy 15-minute segment to talk about the production this weekend, and so we'll jump right into it when we come back here. You're hearing the live feed. We'll have to switch back to that here in a second. So in the private chat there, I will put the time cues, like a minute, 30 seconds, 15 seconds, so you know how much longer it is before we come back.
Okay.
Cool. So good to see you again.
Yeah, you too.
All right. Talk soon.
35 of these are burning displays. You can experience the glow and warmth of a live fire.
Whether wood, gas, or electric, find a fire that warms your heart, a fire that adds comfort and security to your life. See the many choices at Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, located on the corner of East Franklin and Riverside Avenue in Minneapolis, and online at woodlandstoves.com.
Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces since 1977. For over 48 years, our slogan has been, out of the ordinary products and services. Our mission is to get you a fireplace that works in your life.
This season, bring the whole family to see Irving Berlin's White Christmas. This smash hit musical based on the classic film returns by popular demand to delight you at Chanhassen dinner theaters. With loads of laughter and a stunning showcase of Irving Berlin songs, White Christmas is a celebration of the romance, friendship, and magic of the holidays. Visit chanhassendt.com.
Best seats available in January and through the closing date of February 7th.
It's no secret that medical care costs are soaring, with nursing home and skilled nursing care costs being some of the highest. You don't have to deplete your savings in order to receive long-term care. At Schroman Law, we work with families to develop and implement strategic planning for medical assistance for long-term care, for assisted living, nursing home care, or home-based care. Contact us today to schedule a free consultation at schromanlaw.com. That's SCHROMEN law.com.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Patrick Lilia. Today, sunshine with a high of 26, then tonight, cloudy with a low of 15. Cafe Latte is unlike any restaurant you've ever experienced. Grab a tray and pick from their award-winning selections of soups, salads, sandwiches, and mouth-watering desserts. Cafe Latte, Victoria Street and Grand Avenue in St. Paul, or cafelatte.com.
You're listening to AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
Coming to you from the studios of AM 950 KTNF, the progressive voice of Minnesota, and airing on WCPT 820, Chicago's progressive talk. Welcome back to The Gailey Show. It is 33 minutes after the hour. I am John Parker, in studio with my executive producer, Jim Pounds. If you like what we're doing on YouTube, click that subscribe button, click like, leave us a comment. The Ballet Collaboratories production of The Snow Queen is this weekend, December 19th through the 21st at the Ted Mann Concert Hall at the University of Minnesota, Minneapolis campus. The ballet's music was written by Ethel Smythe, or Smith. I'll get the correct pronunciation here in a second. She was a 19th century British composer, but her work was, shall we say, ignored because A, she was a woman in a field dominated by men, kind of still, and B, identified as queer. Zoe Enroux is the artistic director and founder of Ballet Collaboratory. She previously served as the artistic director of St. Paul Ballet. Zoe has created over 10 original works and 8 full-length narrative ballets. Zoe is our guest now. Zoe, welcome back to The Gailey Show.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
All right, The Snow Queen. Maybe we should start with the story of The Snow Queen.
Yeah. So a lot of people don't know that Frozen is actually based off of the Hans Christian Andersen tale of the Snow Queen. Like similar, kind of Grimm's tales. The Snow Queen's kind of dark. It's kind of a dark tale in its origin. And it's based off of 7 different chapters. So it's really tiny. It's a really tiny book, but it's definitely not like a picture book. And, at Ballet Collaboratory, we're always trying to reimagine what ballet is and who ballet is for. And almost every single ballet company does a Nutcracker. And so we decided, well, wouldn't it be nice if we kind of rotated holiday shows? So we did Nutcracker in Wonderland last year, and then this year we're doing Snow Queen. And what I love about the Frozen rendition is that the Snow Queen, who really in the original tale is a villain, you see her softer side and you kind of see the why behind, when Anna and Elsa go on their adventure and all of that, you see the why. And so I've taken the original tale and also offered a little bit of that. What I love is it's not a love story. It is about 2 orphans. In some renditions, they are siblings. In other renditions, they're not. And one gets taken by the Snow Queen. And so it's the tale of the sister, Gerda, going to find Kai. And Kai has been hit by the Snow Queen's it's really a mirror shard. It's very complicated, but it starts by introducing this evil sprite, and all she wants to do is spread evil in the world. And the original is that a shard actually hit people's eye, and then all they see is darkness. So we changed it to heart because it's a little hard to pantomime, ow, the shard hit my eye. And so our tale starts with the evil sprite and then shows how the Snow Queen, prior to being the Snow Queen, gets hit by the sprite's mirror and therefore becomes the Snow Queen. So yeah, it's a really fascinating tale. And then it's another adventure for, a young woman going to find her brother.
I don't know if you had that clock chime exactly when you said the Nutcracker, but that happened. So that was a great sound effect. So then tell us about Ethel, because when I found out about the story, I was like, oh, I want to know everything about Ethel.
Yes. So I think that was the most complicated piece of telling this tale as a ballet. The Nutcracker, we have Tchaikovsky, who made a full score. And so the score goes with the story, goes with the characters. So with hopefully Ethel's permission, I used a lot of different pieces of her music. She was a contemporary of Tchaikovsky. She actually met Tchaikovsky in school, the little school that she did attend. But she just wasn't really recognized for her music. Like either it was too bold or the soft pieces weren't bold enough. And she did an opera, The Wreckers. So I have a segment of that, but then also her Serenade in D is throughout the score. I did edit a lot of it. I'm sorry, Ethel. But I think that she would enjoy it. And she just has these amazing crescendos in her music, and it's impossible to count. The company did a whole reel about me trying to count her music, and it's just like, it's like 7, 1, 5, big note. I don't know. Even more complicated than Tchaikovsky. Wow. But I think that it really tells the tale. And when I found her finally, I was looking for a female composer. When I first created this ballet in 2021. Yes. Wow. And she just spoke to me. And she has so much work. So I used more of like the orchestral pieces rather than the piano. She was a pianist at heart. But yeah, very dramatic, all the drama.
So is it, just to make sure I'm getting it right, is it Ethel Smythe or Smith?
Smythe, yes.
Smythe, okay.
Smythe.
Was she British, Scottish, Welsh, Irish?
British. And then she went to school in Germany for a little bit. Okay. But she was playing piano very early. It's said that her first composition she made when she was 10. Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, and she was the first female composer to receive damehood
in
which
her
is
lifetime.
In her lifetime, I believe. Yes.
Oh,
wow.
Yes, I'll have to double check that. But yeah, she did receive damehood, and yes, she was very queer.
So first, I want to say Tchaikovsky also gay.
Yes.
Tell us about Ethel. Like, was she? I know back then they didn't have the identity, and it wasn't like out or whatnot. It was a completely different time of being.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about her queer biography.
I mean, there's not a lot out there, because it is 1870s. But she had a lot of girlfriends, right? Friends who were girls. Virginia Woolf was a special person for her, really fell in love with her. I don't know if it was reciprocated or not. But she was very like loud and proud about people's rights. I mean, she was arrested because she was throwing bricks through windows, and but she still wanted to write music, so she like still wrote from prison. And oh, a doorbell! Great, that's great. I'm giving you all the shines.
That you have. It's just so, and it's so perfectly timed to what you're saying. Do you have a sound designer over there?
Yeah, right. But yeah, there's not a whole lot. I actually want to see if I can read more about her, because actually when I chose her for the composer, I did not know that she was queer. So something in like the queer cloud just kind of resonated with me.
We find each other.
Yes.
We find each other even when we don't even realize it.
Yeah.
We're talking with Zoe Enro, who is the artistic director and founder of Ballet Collaboratory. What can folks expect? I mean, if you've never been to the ballet before, and what can folks expect when they show up to the Snow Queen, because they love Frozen and they're like, I want to see a different rendition of Frozen, the ballet and live.
Well, first, we do have the epic costume change, so everyone can look forward to that. Our costumer, it was their first time doing a costume like this, and it was very exciting. When we did it in the studio, everyone clapped because it's just a very exciting moment. So they can expect all of that magic. They can expect snow. Really, it's just everything that we love about the winter season. So we didn't necessarily pick a certain kind of winter holiday, so that everyone can enjoy it and it can enjoy winter. And, the ballet, we are people just like everyone else. We have a really fun, like, front of house. I think that we have a couple kits to be like reindeers and snow queens and stuff like that for kids. And then really we're all there just to enjoy live theater, live performance, which the arts are really struggling right now. So I always tell people the best thing that you can do is go out and see art. Go pay for a ticket, have a nice evening, go out to dinner, like treat yourself. And we also know that everyone's busy. So we keep our performances to 90 minutes. So that includes the intermission. So, you're not going to be there for 3 hours. Kids aren't going to get bored. There's plenty of humor where you're meant to laugh. So please laugh. And also applaud, hoot and holler. I think that's something that at the ballet or the more traditional art forms, it's been like, wait, do I make noise? Can I make noise? And no, we want you to make noise. If you see turns that are really impressive to you, please clap for them. So yeah, I think we're just trying to make people understand, like, ballet is for them. And what ballet is transforming as well. And at Ballet Collaboratory, that's really our job. It's our job to make sure that everyone feels like they can participate in the art form, whether that's coming to performances or being a dancer themselves. We actually started an adult performance ensemble last year. And we have over 20 adults who are performing in the Snow Queen, and they're vendors and villagers, and they had rehearsal every single day. Some of them have kids in the program in like our beginning ballet and level 1 classes. It's really lovely. It's a very multi-generational affair. Over 100 people in the cast. So yeah, it's just full of holiday magic, and hopefully folks will enjoy a different tradition that's not Nutcracker, something that just surprises them in different ways.
And it's at the Ted Mann, which is just gorgeous. I mean,
Yeah, it's a great venue, and we've been there once before. So obviously the acoustics are great because it's made for music. My dream would be that we could do Ethel's music live. That would definitely be a dream. I mean, I think it's my dream for every ballet, right? But yeah, and the folks at Ted Mann are so great to work with. We're excited to be on campus, and right in between that Minneapolis and St. Paul border. So hopefully folks from both cities feel like they can attend.
Yep.
We are in our household, we love a good queer ballet film, and there are some really good ones. But I have to ask, because I've got a couple minutes here left.
Yeah.
Did you see the Prime series Étoile?
I did not watch it.
Okay.
I wanted
to see if that's what I wanted to know. I was like,
my managing director watched it, and she was like, "Oh, they don't really convey great things about the managing director in this." Because I asked her, I was like, "Should I watch it?"
It was very Paladinos. It was very they're just sort of known for neurotic people. And I was like, okay, those are just characters. I'm going to set those aside for right now because that's a Paladino character.
Mhm.
But I was just curious about because they had there was the New York style and the
Yeah, well, and there were phenomenal dancers. I mean, that's why I might still watch it, is for the dancing. I think that sometimes those shows, though, they paint a lot more drama than is necessary, because really, especially at Ballet Collaboratory, because we are artist driven and the artists are in the administration as well, we are a second family in many ways, and we work with each other in different ways than you would a, like, quote unquote normal office job. So it's like, sure, things arise, but we're not all like, we don't all have vendettas against each other because of how we were cast, or like that's some Black Swan stuff,
Wait, you mean your choreographers don't have like headphones on all the time and just disappear in the middle of a photo shoot to go deal with LA across the okay. Darn it. I thought that was the truth. No, okay. Well, I love getting also what you all do at the Ballet Collaboratory, and I didn't know about that program, and I love that you have a program for adults who want to learn ballet and participate in a production. So, folks, the production is The Snow Queen. It runs this weekend, December 19th through the 21st at the Ted Mann Concert Hall in Minneapolis on the University of Minnesota campus. You can head to the Ballet Collaboratory's website. That's ballet, C-O, laboratory.org. Zoe, thank you for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break. More with The Gailey Show when we come back.
Some versions of A Christmas Carol are hot toddies, sweet and cozy. Open Eye Theater's holiday tradition, Scrooge in Rouge, it's a Boilermaker, a raucous Victorian vaudeville-style musical that spikes your holiday with camp and chaos. Scrooge in Rouge is backed by audience demand for the third year in a row. Celebrate the holidays with Open Eye Theater, now through December 28th. Bring your friends, bring your festive spirit, and leave your figgy pudding at home. Christmas can be a drag in the best way. Tickets at openeyetheater.org.
Je te dis joyeux Noël, tu me dis joyeux Noël.
Hey, Francois, look at those pretty gifts.
Oui, j'ai commandé des macarons sur nicoletsmacarons.com.
You ordered these macarons at nicoletsmacarons.com? That's great because they ship throughout the country.
Oui, et ils ont même mis le logo de mon entreprise sur les macarons.
And they put your company logo on the macaroons.
Et voilà, un cadeau pour toi.
A box for me? Thank you, Francois. And I have a gift for you from nicoletsmacaroons.com.
Joyeux Noël.
Turn to Auto Technical with your vehicle donation. We have families waiting for a car. Over 85% of unemployed are successful in finding and keeping a job if they have dependable transportation. A car plus a job equals a life changed. 612-919-5526. We have families waiting for a car. 919-5526 or autotech.org.
Let Next Chapter Booksellers help you with your holiday shopping. Next Chapter Booksellers has the perfect gift ideas. Books make for easy, thoughtful gifts that are a breeze to wrap and ship. And if you're not sure what book to get, the friendly staff at Next Chapter Booksellers are great at recommendations for any age and taste. Explore their wide selection of puzzles and games for interactive family fun. And if you're still stumped, then try a Next Chapter Booksellers gift card. That's Next Chapter Booksellers in St. Paul, your destination for easy-to-give gifts.
Hey, it's Patrick for Zero Res. Is your home ready for the holidays? 'Tis the season to be jolly, and nothing makes me jollier than a clean home. Maybe you breathed a sigh of relief that Thanksgiving wasn't at your house this year, but now you're realizing you are going to be hosting something in December and your home isn't ready. But don't worry, there's time to call my cleaning heroes at Zero Res to come out and get things in order before your friends and family come over. Zero Res can take care of any surface in your home, from tiles, carpets, rugs, upholstery, hardwood, and more. Don't DIY it. Call Zero Res because you know they're safe and effective. They have a 4.9 rating on Google Reviews with over 21,000 satisfied customers. Go ahead and get clean and don't miss this deal. Call Zero Res right now, 9520-RES, or go to ZeroResMinnesota.com and ask for the AM 950 special. Spots are filling up fast, so don't wait. Lock yours in today. Happy holidays from all of us at Zero Res. Backward or forward spells the same.
Welcome back to the Daily Show. We are coming up on the top of the hour. I am John Palka, in studio with my executive producer, Jim Pounds.
He's acting very strange.
No, I don't
today.
know how to... we're going to talk about this story. I'm just going to say right now, y'all probably have told, like, I vacillate between extreme cynicism and extreme action. And so I try not to let the cynicism take over, but I'm Armenian and I think I'm justified in my cynicism. A queer Armenian American on top of it. So the Democratic Legislative Campaign Committee late last week put out a white paper, memoranda, I'm not quite sure what to call it here, position statement. And they're claiming that their post-election analysis of all of the elections in 2025, specifically the November election, puts the Democratic Party on track in 2026 to... I'm going to read directly from their document here. Capture new majorities, supermajorities, trifectas, while simultaneously flipping seats in every chamber on the ballot and breaking GOP supermajorities. Now, the Democratic Legislative Campaign Committee, that's a mouthful, DLCC, they are focused on state-level races. They are not focused on, like, the House of Representatives, the Senate, the presidency. They are focused on what happens in individual states.
Give us the specifics.
Well, I mean, there's a lot to unpack here. So here, let's do 4 categories for what they're talking about here. So they're claiming that we are on track. Pause. Time out. Democratic organizations like to claim a lot. So that's also why I'm saying, like, big, like, let's pump the brakes here. We like to hear that there's, enthusiasm and there's strategy, but a lot of times we're told, like, oh my God, I remember a lot of folks saying Florida was in play last November and that it was going to be a squeaker, but Florida was going to go for the Democrats, and instead it was called almost immediately for Trump. So, okay, there's that. But according to 4 major areas, they are saying that they are planning and are on track to break 10 GOP supermajorities. I'm not going to list out all the states there. They claim they are on track to gain 10 new Democratic supermajorities. And by 10, I mean in 10 states. So break GOP supermajorities in 10 states, gain 10 supermajorities in 10 states Democratic. They think that they're on track to secure 6 Democratic trifectas, where they have the House, the Senate, and they have the governor's mansion as well. And they believe they are on track to flip 8 Republican majorities in presidential battleground states. So they feel they have an expanded map that they're going after here. Of note, they are claiming that their first priority, reading again from their document, direct quote, our first priority right now is to fund and invest early in our battleground states as part of our $50 million power expansion strategy to win on this map. And then they go down here, and it's they claim that just flipping 19 seats on their map would establish 4 new Democratic trifectas. I looked at Illinois, but y'all did it right in Illinois. You don't got any problems in Illinois. In Michigan, in Minnesota, we have a Democratic 1-seat majority in our Senate. We have the governor's mansion, and we have a tie in the chamber. So they are focused there on breaking the tie in our House of Representatives and increasing or protecting rather the Senate. You know, we'll see how we do there. I think that the Republican Party in Minnesota on a statewide level is a joke, and Governor Walz will most likely win re-election, but I think he's very, very vulnerable, and I don't think folks are talking about that enough. But Jim, I want to get your reactions to this so far.
Just to talk about, and I like specifics here because I think you're right, there's some hype going on, but in specific in Minnesota, I believe we can and will have to flip one House of Representatives seat to gain that 1-vote majority. It won't be easy, but we lost 3 to get into this mess that we're in, and I think we will gain at least one of them back. So that does not seem hyper to me. That seems very focused. You know, we've got to win one and not lose anything. In Wisconsin, I can tell you that we are 2 seats behind taking control of the state Senate, and I think that's, along with some defending, small wins, I think that's also an accomplishable thing. I don't believe much in this people that think we're going to get it. What do we get? What's it called when we get all 3 of them?
Trifecta.
Trifecta. People are saying that in Wisconsin. I don't see any evidence of that. Gaining the state Senate would be a huge benefit to change one of the tenors of what's been a horrible legislature for that state since Scott Walker came around.
Interject when folks are here. Like, this is not armchair. Jim, I have literally watched Jim look at numbers in every single Senate and House district. He knows that map like backwards and forwards. He knows who's running in them. I mean, he has studied the Wisconsin map. I mean, he's a resident of there. So, you're a resident. So
I have a sad life.
I don't want people thinking that he's just like armchair, quarterbacking this. No. He's looked at, he literally pulled that number of how many seats the Democrats need in the Senate out of thin air. Like, he knows that, not thin air. Anyway, go on, Jim.
But when you see a change of 1 or 2 seats, that's an accomplishable thing. If the anger level is high, 3 or 4 seats, maybe. But the idea that we're going to sweep, especially in red states, I think we're going to, my expectation at the House of Representatives level is that we're going to flip a net of 6. That's very conservative. So I'm very conservative about what I'm expecting, not the 40 that some people talk about or the 35 that are possible. So I'd be happy to look at 1 or 2 seats and say, I think that's achievable in a red state. Maybe in a blue state, we can do 3 and 4. But that, to me, keeping those expectations temperate is better.
In Wisconsin, and I know you know these numbers, but they would essentially need to defend all their current seats and flip 7, 2 in the Senate and 5 in the House.
Right.
And somehow get the governor's mansion as well. And
That's
they would
a
have
lot.
a trifecta.
That's spreading.
It is
very thin.
We'll see, though. We'll be talking about 2026 a lot here over the next 11 months. Thank you for listening to The Gailey Show. Up next on WCPT is Democracy Now! On AM 950. It is the Matt McNeil Show. Stay tuned after that for Native Roots Radio. And then at 10 p.m. Central, Step into the Unknown with Greg Bakken on Ghost Box Radio. And until this time tomorrow, keep it queer, America.
Keep it queer.